What's up, YouTube? In today's video, we're going to be looking at childhood fears. We're going to look at all our childhood fears. We all have different ones, and we're going to look at all of them in this video. Lots of them. But before we do that, make sure to like and subscribe, turn post notifications on for more videos like this. Further ado, let's hop into it.
We all have certain fears, and fears are completely normal, because without being fearful of certain things, it would make us struggle through everyday life. For example, taking a shit in the school bathroom. If you need to take a dump, surely you can use a properly functioning toilets in the school bathroom, right? Realistically, bruh, if you try taking a dump in the school bathroom...
This has never been a problem for me. I don't know why everyone has this problem with taking shits in the school bathroom, but this is really, like, I've always heard about this, but no, I never really cared, you know.
Motherfuckers will walk in there and be like,
you never go to the full ones though, that's when it gets
and once
bad.
they identify that the poop smell is coming from your stall, they're gonna start banging on the door, throwing wet paper towels over the stalls, or even start recording you with their phones over the stall with the flash on.
Yep.
And all of this could have been avoided if you had a fear of taking a dump at school. Yeah, in this video, I'm gonna be talking about some of my personal childhood fears, and I feel like you guys can relate to some of them too. Let's get it, bruh. When I was younger, my parents used to turn on the light in the hallway and crack my door open a little bit so I wouldn't get scared of the dark when I went to sleep. Like, I couldn't fall asleep unless there was some source of light. I also used to do this thing where I would run as fast as I can to my room.
Was I ever scared? I don't think I was ever scared of the dark.
Or in the living room. Just any
I'm not scared of anything.
I would think that there was a predator or something lurking around in there, which makes sense because when people say they're afraid of the dark, most of the time it's not actually a fear of the dark, but a fear of the unknown. Because back then, and even today, if you showed me a piece of paper with a big black square on it, I wouldn't be like, oh, what the fuck is that? Like, you know what I mean? But if you place me in a dark mental asylum that's been abandoned for 67 years with broken glass scattered on the floor and suspicious red liquids
shit.
The walls.
If it's abandoned, that's just like common courtesy, you know? Like, you're gonna be scared of that. No matter if you're scared of the dark, scared of the unknown, you have to be scared of that. And if it's at night, yeah, I'm scared of that. I don't care. I mean, like, it's just, I feel like being scared of the dark, it's like when you're at mysterious places, but like, it gets super bad when you're alone. If you're alone, that's when it gets actually scary. If you're with multiple people, I mean, it's kind of scary, but like, hey, you can have fun with your friends and make it not as bad.
Then yeah, I'd be scared as fuck. I'd be trying to find my way out of there. I'm not investigating shit.
Not even going in there in the first place.
Dark. Another thing that would scare the living
I don't get people who like doing that.
Out of me would be the coat hanger behind my door. Just let me explain, bro. Let me end. So this coat hanger behind my bedroom door, or I guess it was more of a coat hook. I used to hang my hoodies and jackets onto it. And at night, when it was dark in my room, I used to see my jackets and hoodies on the coat hanger.
And you think it's someone at your door.
Resembled the outline of someone's upper body. And that scared the shit out of me, bro.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
Because there was this one puffer jacket that I had that deadass resembled the outline of the upper body of a...
Because it will be like kind of light underneath the door. So, like, some light will come in, but, like, barely any, but enough so you see the jacket, and it scares the shit out of you.
Creepy girl in a dress.
Ah!
And when I got scared of that shit, I would tuck myself underneath my covers and try to hide from it. And in the back of my mind, I gotta use different words, bro, my bad. Inside of my mind, I would imagine the floating body of a creepy girl looming over me as I was underneath my covers. Like, I would periodically create a small gap with my covers just so I could breathe, bro. Because I was suffocating in that bitch. I would keep doing this until I got tired and just fell asleep normally. I'm sure all of you can relate to having a fear of the dark as a kid, but this next fear I'm gonna talk about, I feel like it isn't that common, but it might be even worse than my fear of the dark. Every night after watching Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon, my dad would watch those police shows where they report crimes like theft, break-ins, and shit like that. And occasionally, I would stay up late and I would watch this show with him. On this show, the reports that involved home invasions were scary as fuck to me. I remember they would put the face of the criminal on the screen and have their name, ethnicity, height, and the location where the home invasion was committed. The faces of the criminals on that show... And
then you realize that's where you live.
Went to sleep that
it's close, it's in the state.
I would pray to God specifically that no bad guys would break into the house. And you might be thinking, Well, no shit. Who wouldn't have a fear of an intruder breaking into your house?
Yeah, it's not
I'm
a
telling
fear.
you,
That's
my fear
just
for this was on
if he's
another.
scared
My
in the
fear for this
moment.
was
It's
on
not a
another
fear of
level.
it. You
I
don't have a
remember
fear of it.
situations where it was late at night, I was struggling to sleep, and I would hear the smallest sounds, like creaking or just sounds of the house settling in. These sounds used to freak me out to the point where I would wake up my dad and tell him that there might be a bad guy in the living room. And when he woke up pissed and walked to the living room of the house, there was no one there. And I did this a lot, bro, and I remember this one specific time where I woke up my dad and he refused to check if there was a bad guy.
No
And
one's
he told
there.
me to do it
Go
myself.
back to
Like, he was
bed.
fed up with me, bro. After he told me this, I decided to go check for myself. I
Uh-oh.
remember walking as quietly as I could, trying not to make a sound, and I was scared as fuck. My heart was beating out of my chest. And when I got to the living room, I saw
Nothing.
absolutely nothing. And because of how paranoid I was, I double checked that the front door, back door, ooh,
You're gonna get me copyrighted.
back
Stop.
door, and all the windows were locked before I headed back to my room. Honestly, after this situation happened, I stopped being paranoid about people breaking into the house.
Yeah, because it doesn't fucking happen. We aren't living in the 70s.
I'm honestly still scared of heights to this day, but when I was a kid, my fear for heights was 10 times worse. I remember this one time.
Yeah,
I was
that's
at a school
definitely
camp
one
in
thing
year
a lot of
5,
people
and if you
underground.
guys aren't familiar with school camp,
Like, I used to just be like, I don't know, this is me. I just used to always be scared of roller coasters till, like, even just, like, 4 years ago. Just, I mean, it was mainly because of heights and this terrible heights, and that just sucks, man. Like, you just think, what happens if I fall? And I guess even the drop can just paranoid you, you know?
it's pretty much a camp that consists of like a couple year levels or grade levels at a school, and we all go to a camping area and do activities. School camps used to hit, like I've made so much good memories through them, but this story I'ma tell right now was one of the bad memories. On the
Oh,
second day of the school camp in the afternoon, we
I
were
never went to
doing
school
an
camp.
activity called abseiling. And if
I
you
went to
don't know
kids
what
club. Well, it was
abseiling
camp.
is,
It was
it's pretty
basically
much
school
using a
camp, but it was just
harness
at
and a
the
rope to climb up and
school,
down a wall. When
and
we
you
were
went
doing the
places.
abseiling
So it was technically a
activity,
school
we all
camp,
had
just during
turns
the day
going up
thing.
and down a wall, and this wall
You
was
didn't
around
like
the
stay
height
night
of a
there.
2-story house, so it was kind of tall,
It's
especially
not
for
really
a
a school
bunch of
camp.
9 to 10-year-olds. Because of my fear of heights, I moved myself to the back of the line for the abseiling activity. While waiting for my turn,
You
a few
never want to
people
do
were
that.
scared to do it as well, and it was mainly the girls that found it
Just push
scary.
them.
But most of the guys did the abseiling activity with no issue at all.
Light work, no reaction.
When it came to my turn, they secured my harness and told me the instructions on how to climb up the wall. Going up the wall wasn't too bad, and all I had to do was
And then you look
walk
down.
up the wall one small step at a time. When it was time to go back down the wall, that's when my nerves started kicking in. It low-key felt like I was going to fall, and that falling feeling, along with the fact that I was pretty high up and had an insane fear of heights.
Even if you
Not gonna lie,
slip
I
though, like
started
it's still
crying,
gonna
bro. Like
hurt.
I was sweating, shaking, and I think I was having a panic attack or some shit. When I started bawling out like a little pussy, they got one of the instructors to grab me and carry me back down to the ground. And after they removed my harness, one of the teachers brought me back inside to this kitchen area inside one of the camp buildings, and they gave me a glass of water and told me to sit down and breathe slowly in and out. At this moment, I felt like such a pussy because I was the only person that couldn't complete the activity out of everyone. Luckily, I didn't get flamed for it, and we all went on to complete the rest of the activities for the day. Yeah, bro, I was such a pussy when I was a kid, but ever since I hit puberty and my balls dropped, my fear of heights now isn't too bad. Like, I've been able to go on rides and do activities that
Yeah.
involve being high up, but I would still get scared though.
Just
I will
'cause you do
scream
it.
like a little
Do it
bitch
more.
if there's a big drop in a roller coaster, but I no longer get scared.
I'll
to the
scream
point
regardless.
where
I don't give a
have
shit.
full-on panic attack, just like how I did at that one school camp. Let's get on to my next childhood fear. Just like the
I
second.
don't have this fear because I don't live like in areas that have earthquakes. I used to be kind of scared of not roller coasters, tornadoes, but not really anymore. Just because the fear if it's too bad, like you could die and shit. But I'm not really scared of them anymore, just because they don't happen much. And that's honestly what makes it scary is when something doesn't happen much. That's what's gonna get you a fear of it.
Fear I talked about.
But if it happens
I
multiple
developed this fear while my
times,
dad
then you
was
start getting
watching a
used to it.
documentary about
Repetition
the
just
2011
helps you get
Japan
over stuff.
earthquake. And I remember CCTV footage of buildings shaking while people were still inside, and seeing a bunch of shelves and shit fall down while people were frantically trying to evacuate the building. I was pretty young when I saw this. I was probably around 4 or 5 years old. Because of that documentary, I developed a fear of earthquake. And the thing is, right, the country that I lived in is notorious for having earthquakes. So an earthquake like actually happening was definitely a possibility. In my primary school, the classroom I was in during year 1 was right beside the auditorium for the class to calm down. Let me know down in the comments if you can relate to any of these stories, and if you don't relate,
What? What? Made you take off your shirt and sit in the corner? Maybe go to the nurse. Maybe go to the nurse. I think that'd be a more suitable option. You know, maybe not take off your shirt and sit in the corner of the class like a retard. Okay, that was bad language. I shouldn't use that language. But hope you guys enjoyed this video. This really was not that long of a vid, but this was childhood fears, and I think this was pretty good. I'm gonna react to some more of this clumsy person's vids because I really like his commentary stuff. So hope you guys enjoy this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.